Hey, hey, hey. So today we are going to talk about pain versus suffering. I know we don't want to talk about the truth, but pain is inevitable. It is a required process for our personal growth. Here on this channel is all about growth. It's all about development. If you think about what development means, it's a process. It's a process. So what I found that oftentimes we choose suffering when we really just can choose the pain and get through the process to the growth, but instead we suffer. So pain is not optional, but suffering is. Example, I think about our life. Here I talk a lot about the F-bombs, the things in our life that we have to do. So we show up and do them with style and grace. And our F-bombs are, family, fitness, fashion, finance, food, infusing and incorporating fun. Painful in all those areas, it's a challenge, meaning the pain could be, I need to lose weight. I know I need to lose weight, but I don't go to the gym. I don't set up a healthy eating plan. I don't choose foods to help me reach my goal. That's painful. Now, we don't see that as pain, but it's painful because we have these uneasy thoughts. Our body could be impacted through illness or disease. That's pain. The pain presents itself. We can choose, as I love to say, which medicine cabinet we go into. There's lots of medicine cabinets out here. We just have to understand which ones really work. I believe there's a layered medicine cabinet within us, meaning inside of us, we have lots of options to choose from. And they can lead us to outside resources, but I believe the first tool, the first source we must go to is within. Be honest with ourselves. What do we want? How do we want to change this behavior so that it doesn't lead to suffering? Because we look at, we get hurt or we scrape our knee. If we don't put the Band-Aid on it, we don't put the ointment on it, then we're saying we're in pain. It could be 10 years later, pain. Oftentimes, we know the truth around most diseases and illnesses and suffering. It comes from untreated problems. And what it is going to be the root of the problem. It's the root. We have to get to the root in order to alleviate the pain. The pain will not go away. So this is really going to more of a soul work conversation, the things that we feel deep within us that leads us to maybe anxiety or to a depressive state. Acknowledge the feeling, be honest about it. It's a pain there. I love that book. It talks about the body keeps the score. Our body feels everything. The damage is being done internally. A lot of us look really good on the outside, but internally there's a lot of damage, and that's okay. Now it's time to face it and heal it. And healing something you can again seek outside sources, but it must first start with the truth of what it is. So pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. There's a quote, I don't know who the author is on that, but it's the truth. In every area of our life, whatever we want to do, we need to have the hard conversation. That's a pain because we can get a headache about thinking about something too much. We can start feeling our body is real. Like we have given too much power away to outside sources, but this one thing that we were born with from head to toe, you can feel it. We know when we need to do something. We know when we need to make a move. We know when we need to say something, but yet we don't. That's pain. And then we end up suffering. We're unhappy. We say we're unhealthy. And it's because we've let something go for so long, we never dealt with it. Pain, inevitable. Suffering, optional. We can go to the space of challenging. I'm big on choosing challenge. I talk with the young women on my platform, and you got to choose the challenge. The challenge is doing the work, sometimes going after a goal, showing up for things that you really desire and you don't know what the outcome's going to be. That's a pain of being fearful, the nerves. You feel like the butterflies in your stomach, your knees shaking, your teeth chattering. That's painful because it's a embarrassment maybe, or it's a rejection space. But the reality of it, if we don't face whatever it is we know we should be doing, there's a suffering behind it. The unmet goal, the outcome that we know we can have if we choose to chase. I don't even get into dream chasing because my platform is for younger ladies. You may be older, welcome. But I really, in my 20s, I wasn't dream chasing. I was living my dream. I wanted to be a teacher. But the dream within the classroom was to empower my students. If I went home and know I didn't give it my all that day at work, I felt bad. I would, next day, Janvia, you know what you're here for. Give it my all. I don't care what you're doing. We're here to win. And winning is personal because you got to choose the game that you play. When I was in the classroom, that was a game, meaning what did I want the outcome to be for my students for that day, for the year, society, or, I'll say the system has set it up that, you have the standardized tests, you have these things that says, okay, you've achieved. I had my own personal goals. I was really big on my students improving. I was all about the growth process. Not so much that a student went from that had an A in my class, great, definitely they earned it. But I'm speaking oftentimes, most of my students, you have the C's that went to a B, or they were late every day till they went to being on time at least twice a week. And then from that twice a week, we go to the 3 times a week. Then we go to their on time every day. This thing is really about growth. It's a gradual process. Some people ace things great, but I promise you those A students work for C students. That's a book and it's real. Because oftentimes those students we think are just dumb or, labeled these certain things. It's really because they have a different genius. Don't sleep on them. They have a different genius. So that's another conversation, but it goes back to the truth of pain and suffering. Again, if you're not tapping into your genius, then you can suffer the pain of regret. Jim Rohn's quote, pain of discipline, pain of regret, pain of discipline, pain of regret. So there's pains in life that we're going to have. We don't want to suffer, y'all. I am not, the struggle is not real. I don't like the quote no more. We ain't claiming that. The struggle is not real. The choices are. We make the choices. We understand with choices comes challenges, but the challenges comes change. And then we actually we're the change that we want to see in the world. We're the change that we want to see in our own family. We're the change that we want to see in our communities. That's what this journey is about. That's what we're about. My name is Janville, and I am grateful to be here with you. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I want you to know that you have a choice for your life. My journey, you can look through some of my videos, but I've had to overcome a lot of things. Most of my things were emotional, lots of worthy, value, feeling like I was valuable, feeling like I had worth, feeling like I deserve things. Those spaces are very hard to be in, and that's how I grew up. And so choosing things that were just, I'm gonna do it anyway type of attitude. And it was not a rebel, although it is a rebel. It's not I thought it was bad to think differently. I thought it was bad to be different. I was embarrassed sometimes to choose things, but I do it anyway. That's the one thing, I would do it anyway. And then I realized, God, this is not as bad as I thought, because what happens is you start to meet your people. You start to actually have healthier relationships, most importantly with yourself, the friends, the few that you really need, they're there. They're inspired by you. You're inspired by them. And it's a circle of life. Life is a beautiful circle, the golden circle, where we need to be in order to be the best version of ourselves and who we're created to be. So I just want to remind you to stay true to the journey, to empower yourself every day, encourage yourself, find some words, find some wisdom, find you some mentors. A lot of my mentors started in books and magazines. I've now found them in real life because I've been on a journey and I don't plan on giving up, and you won't either. We don't quit in this thing. We stay true and we trust this process. And I want you to know you are valuable and you are worthy.